And the first question which I want to ask you, how does employer branding contribute to the organization profitability and cost optimization? Can you tell about it?
Well,
We want to know about it.
yeah, well, of course it starts with the understanding that you need the right talent to succeed, and to get the right talent, it's quite competitive. There are lots of companies obviously trying to compete for the very best talent, the best technical skills, the best competencies, and therefore it makes sense to use the same approach that you do to attract consumers, who you also compete for, to attract talent. So employer branding really is contributing value to the business by ensuring that you have a very efficient and effective way of attracting the talent you need to succeed. And if you get that right, then it reduces your cost per hire, because whatever you're producing is more attractive, so you necessarily do not have to spend quite as much on media to make a big noise. You're attracting people because they want to come and work for you. And when they join you, if they feel proud of the company and your identity, which is also part of your employer brand, reputation, your culture, then they tend to be more engaged, they tend to stay with the company for longer, and hopefully perform at their very best. And all of this contributes, of course, to better performance.
Okay, a few words about today's event, what you will show here for many employers, business.
Well, I've got about 20 years of experience in employer branding and have worked with many different companies in many different sectors in many different countries. But what I want to do is ensure that people understand the core principles, how to strengthen their employer brand, how to make sure they're translating that into the things I've been talking about: better talent attraction, better engagement, better retention. And so essentially I'm really giving a bit of a crash course in an hour and a half on all of the success factors, if you like, that are required to build a strong employer brand.
But about results, how Armenian employers, business, thanks for it for you.
Well, I mean, I think if I understand the question, in terms of Armenian businesses,
Yes,
the economy is doing reasonably well. I mean, from what I've read, you've got a positive employment outlook, so you've got a growing tech sector, which is very competitive in terms of talent. And from last year, the research done by Grant Thornton suggested that a lot of the people hiring into the market, particularly the tech market, but also other sectors, are sometimes struggling to find the right talent. So maybe attracting lots of people, but not necessarily the very best talent that they're looking for. So I think that's really, for the businesses here in Armenia, as for any other country, it's ensuring that those skills and capabilities are baked into the way you do HR management, the way you do talent management, but then essentially the way you also do recruitment.
and how business success work with in the business area and through the people.
So I don't quite understand the question.
People, how work in business area for result, how they can work.
Well, I think they can. The key things are really to be very clear about the target audiences, making sure that you know what critical talent you're looking for. So that's one thing. It's very much about getting the right insights into who you're looking for and what they are looking for, not just what you're selling, but also what they're buying. And then really to understand how, in addition to any consumer branding you have or the overall corporate brand, you're also thinking about it from a talent perspective. So making sure that the working discipline is very much not just an HR discipline, but also a brand discipline. And I think this is a new way of working within HR for many, because HR management doesn't necessarily engage as much with marketing or communications, but if they do and they use similar disciplines, ways of working, then generally they will get a much better result.
And what do you think? Which is the biggest important thing for the result of business? I wanted to know, for example, branding thing or factors for result working as we expect result?
Well, I think if I can boil it down to the most important thing, the most important thing actually is the culture of the organization, which is very much at the leadership level, because I think the issue with many companies is that they just see recruitment as a separate exercise from what goes on inside the company. So it's all about the shop window, and it's not enough about what's in the shop, if you understand what I mean. So people, there are often very big promises, big expectations, and people then arrive and they find that the culture and the ways of working are very different. So the most important thing is to make sure that your employer brand is attractive, but it's also authentic. So it's really rooted in the culture and rooted in what makes you different, and that the senior team recognize that one of their most important roles within a business is to ensure a positive culture, but also a culture that is tuned into what talent are looking for, to attract them, to engage them, to retain them. All of this is critical for the senior level, the CEO, the COO, the CMO, all of these, C-suite people. So that's probably the most important thing. Getting the connection between what you're communicating and then what you're delivering internally.
Thank you very much for the time.
My pleasure.